The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Gary's Paint and Body Shawn Jones Show.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Shawn Jones Show, where we cover everything on Rebel Hill with the South Green Rebel football team. We'll recap this past week's loss to Marion County in the second round of the Class 2A playoffs and recap the South Green Rebels 2025 season here on this week's edition. But first, as always, we need to go ahead and get a spot in first. So we'll be right back after these quick messages here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone.
The Gary's Paint and Body Shawn Jones Show. Brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, by Gary's Paint and Body, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Shawn Jones Show, where we cover everything atop Rebel Hill with the South Green Rebels football team. As always, I'm joined here with South Green head coach Shawn Jones. Coach, how's it going this afternoon?
Going pretty good.
Sun shining out here on beautiful Rebel Hill one last time. Season wrapped up this past Friday night with a 35-0 loss in Marion County to the Warriors in the second round of the Class 2A playoffs. We'll talk about the season in full on the back half of this, but the first half, take me through that game against Marion County the other night.
Well, you know, we just hit a buzzsaw. I mean, every day going good. Be totally surprised if, you know, they're not playing the state championship. You know, we knew we had to play them. I mean anytime they're on the east side of the bracket, you got to play them. You know, wish the playoffs have been different like they were last year. Maybe get them in the semis. You know, if things work out. But it is what it is. But they got a daggone good football team, and we done some good stuff. We really did. You know, we felt like we got a couple stops there. You know, but they just got a sound football team, and you know the things they done early in the year, making turnovers all year, and the things they done that you
didn't
felt
see
like
none of it.
No, you didn't see none of it. We kind of probably knew going in, but yeah, the turnovers and stuff they didn't have that. You know, in order to stay in a game like that, we had to have, because you know all year, you know the turnovers been a big deal. You know, we didn't get in at Happy Valley was a big deal, and so, but just hats off to this team. They didn't quit. You know, we felt like we played hard. You know, it was down 28-0 at halftime. You know, a bogus call there got us down 28. Should have been down 20. Could have been 21-7. We drove and turned it over on down. So just proud of the boys for finishing like they're supposed to, and just proud of the season they've had.
And then looking at it, it's something that Coach Case said to me over on the sideline late in the second half. He said, if you would have told me they would have had to drive the field 3 times and only scored on 3 offensive possessions, you'd be in the ball game. And that's something that I think you'll look back on too, and think that if you could have had better offensive possessions and limited those turnovers, it'd have been a completely different ball game. But how happy were you with how the defense played, only allowing them to drive the field 3 times in a full ball game with their starters?
You're just really proud of that, and really the offense didn't do bad either. It's just you know just like you say, the fumble return for a touchdown was one of the worst calls ever. I mean, how do you the ball go 10 yards? You know, he said his hand wasn't going forward. Well, if it ain't going forward, how's the ball go 10 yards? You know, so and it is a judgment call. It was a bad judgment call. I mean, it was. We've rewatched it and everything, and that was big. And you know, the interception, you know, it was a little bit behind 4, hit off his hand. So you take those away, you know. But we did some, like I say, offensively we did some good stuff. So very proud of both sides of the ball. And you know, the score wasn't indicative of what we did Friday night on both sides of the ball. You look at the score 35-0, and it was. But anyway, we were driving our 10 and inside the 10. So really proud of the boys how it came out Friday night.
And then very unfortunate 2 turnovers too, because just you never want 2 turnovers to result in touchdowns, but it happened in a playoff game, and those put you behind the 8 ball. But you get a few big plays on the offense and defensive sides too. Simon Burns gets an interception when they're driving the field to potentially score in the second half, I think in the fourth quarter. Noah Wright catches one over his shoulder in the first half. You had some key plays, so talk about both of those plays and how crucial they were in the game.
You know, Nash made a great throw to Noah. He made a heck of a catch there, and we just, we knew all week. We told the guys on the backside for the first time all year, you got to block on the backside. They got Nash for loss on that drive and put us behind the 8 ball. We missed the field goal, and then, we got the interception, and Simon hadn't watched film yet. He said he was 1 block away from maybe returning it, and that would have been big, but really proud of what we did Friday night, and no indication of what kind of season we've had, and we'll talk here in a minute, going into the season, I don't think too many people, except the guys inside this field house here, thought we'd have the season we did, so very proud of that.
And then moving forward to the second half now, we'll talk about the season in full, go throughout some of Coach Jones's favorite memories, moments, and games throughout the year. So stick with us, and we'll talk about that right after this quick break here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at gatewaynissangreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Shawn Jones Show, where we cover everything atop Rebel Hill with the South Green Rebel football team. As always, I'm joined here with South Green head coach Shawn Jones. So let's recap the season in full. You finished the season 8-4, runners-up in the Region 1 2A Conference to Happy Valley. You make it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 2022. Before we get into the 3 questions, I just want to ask, how proud are you of the season that you had?
I'm very, very proud. Like I said, going into preseason, going into the season, a lot of people didn't think we would do anything. I was kind of nervous. Nash missed the whole preseason. We didn't score 8 touchdowns preseason, and I think we still ended up averaging over 30 points a game, even the other night getting shut out. So very, very super proud of this team. Nobody believes in us, and that's fine. That's the way we are up here. Nobody believed we'd have the season we did. Going to the playoffs, I think people laughed when you said playoffs early in the year. I mean, you was going to be there, because there's only 4 teams, but I think a lot of people thought we'd be the 4th team. So very, very proud of this team. The seniors done well. Everybody done well, throughout the year. We had a little bit of adversity here and there. The good thing was we didn't have the injury bug. That was huge. Had it preseason with Nash, but got in the season, knock on wood, 2 got hurt in a playoff game, but he come back and played this week, so that wasn't a big deal. So, in 2A football, if you get the injury bug, it can mean your season, and luckily it stayed away from us this year. So proud of the season we had. nothing to hang your hat about with this bunch. Got beat by hopefully the team that's going to win state. That's what you want if you get put out. You get put out by the best. So very, very proud of this team that we put on the field this year.
Let's go throughout some of your favorites throughout this season too. I know we're only a few days removed from the season being over, and you really haven't had time to reflect yet. But take me through some of your favorite moments throughout the season, whether that be in practice, games, bus rides, coaches. Meetings. Take me through some of your favorite moments throughout the year.
Well, I guess the biggest one is beating Boone. You know, big 5A school we'd never beaten since the 70s here. I'd never beaten Coach Jenkins. You know, that was big part of you know, get us rolling after that first game of the year. You know, the way we played in the conference was very, very big. You know, I mean, I know we got beat by Happy Valley. We felt like some penalties there kept us from doing better in that game. And just, you know, just these guys, you know, in practice out here, you know, they were a good bunch to be around in practice and good bunch to be around the whole time. You know, I guess my favorite thing about this team is, you know, yeah, they would fight and fuss at halftime, but we always come together. And this is the closest bunch I've ever had. You know, where they got along. They wasn't fighting all the time, but. You know, just memories that last forever. You know, big getting the 100th win down at Cumberland Gap with this bunch. I mean, that was a big part. You know, again, it ain't about me, but that's special. That we were down there and at Cumberland Gap and got that win with the boys and this team. So just a lot of memories this year. A lot of fun stuff went on in practice, and the coaches. You know, it's kind of fun if you listen to us on Friday on our headset. You probably thought we hate each other, but that's just the way coaches are. We come in here and we fix it after the game, and we're all good friends. But that's just the way we are. Is we're intense. We want to win. Want to win for these boys. So very positive year.
And then you mentioned some of those right there, but I want to see if your answer is the same right here. But what have been some of your favorite games that you've been a part of this year?
Well, like I said, you know, the Boone game was big. You know, the playoff game out here was super huge because we hadn't won any in 3 years. You know, that was huge. You know, interesting game going down the Concord. I know we got beat, but that was crazy. You know, circus atmosphere down there, playing at 2:30 in the afternoon. That was kind of crazy. You know, the county games are always fun. You know, North Green, Chucky Oak, West Green, those are always fun. Win, lose, or draw. You like those games because you have big crowds and it's about community. So those 3 wins were very, very big. So you know, looking back, you know, there was always something special about each one of them.
And I know you talked about some of your favorite memories too, with the 100th win and going up there to Concord. But I want to ask, just as a whole, what will you remember from this team?
Just the grit that he had, you know, because, you know, coming in, we, you know, Jovan had moved with his dad, and we lost a couple other guys that we thought was going to play, and, you know, didn't know where it was going to be up front, and it turned out that they played really well. You know, I guess the biggest part that come in, the selfishness. You know, you look at number 2, Lucas Couch, come in after the Concord game and said, you know, I'll move to tackle. He just wants to win, and that was huge of him. You know, kind of short us up a little bit on the offensive line for those last 4 ball games. You know, the 2 regular season and then 2 in the playoffs. Which, you know, we wasn't bad there. We just needed some shoring up, and he really stepped up to do that. Was able to move 57 to guard, which is what he wanted. So, just the selfishness of this team and the hard work he put in. They come to practice hard, work hard every day, and showed up for practice every day, didn't miss those guys that played. So just very, very appreciative of that.
And then we've been saying it for weeks now, we just haven't had the time, but the senior class, let's talk about them before we end the final show. If you want to talk about each of them individually, you can, or if you just want to talk about them as a group. But just the seniors, how much have they meant to this program?
Oh, they've been huge to this program. You know, you start out with number 1, you know, he come in here, plays a freshman, and has done a lot of things on both sides of the ball and just been a team leader this year. 10, Charlie, you know, the things he's brought to the table, as athletic as he is.
Probably one of the best years of a linebacker that we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I think he ended up, I think with 93 tackles, probably more than that when I go back and restat it. Sometimes they screw that up. You know, it turned out to be the best linebacker we've had in a long time, and we've had some good ones. But Charlie just turned it on there. Of course, you got 57 and 60 up front. You know, Colton and Heath on the line there. You know, Norton started ever since he was a freshman. And he's done a great job. And Colton started about halfway through the season last year, and just proud of him. His dad was a lineman. He followed his footsteps. And Big 54 come on back. You know, Pablo was a huge part of what we do. Pablo didn't play last year, and he was in my weightlifting class in the offseason. I said, hey, you need to come back and play your senior. He said, okay. That's all I said. And it was huge up front. His family went on vacation the first full week of practice, and he missed. And like, who's going to be our center? Done a perfect job. Every now and then he might have a bad snap, but nothing. He was just their emotional leader. 2, like I said, or 50. Couch, just what he done for the team, moving and doing that stuff. Of course, then Brant. Brant come in here, like I said, told him the other night, when he was in 8th grade, he could barely kick one from the goal line to the goal post. And like, do you want to be a kicker? Worked his butt off and became a staple of kickoff and punts and everything he'd done. Micah Jenkins come in, played this year, was a homeschool kid. Does some stuff for us on special teams and just different things there, that we had. And I think that's it. I hope I don't miss any seniors there. I don't think I have. Looking back, you got Charlie. Let me think here a minute. I pretty much think that was it on my seniors. And if I forgot any, I'll have Tyler call me and we'll put another talk in here without the camera. But I'm pretty sure I got all my seniors. Get nervous when I'm trying to start naming kids. So
that's all right.
But I think I got them all there. But all those guys have been mean a whole lot to us up here on Rebel Hill, and I hate to see them go. Good group.
And a very successful season for South Green Standards once again. Playoffs, second round, first time that you've done that in 3 years. County Cup, second place in the region. Successful season all around. I hate to see it end.
Oh, yeah,
I've had fun following them this year. Relentless Rebels, love doing that this year. It's something that if y'all haven't checked out, I'm sure most have, but if you haven't, go check all that out. 16 episodes have been released. We'll have the 17th and final one released this Saturday, but I've had fun following the Rebels around this year. I think I counted up 31 days I've spent with you all doing
awesome.
Relentless Rebels, 17 episodes. I guess this is the 14th coaches show. I covered, I think, 7 games. So it's been a ride with South Green this year, and I've enjoyed it a lot.
Well, we appreciate you, what y'all done. I think it's a little bit harder to what we thought we was going to do here, but I really appreciate you being around and around the boys and what you've done, filming and all that stuff. And it kind of gives people a look at what high school football is like. In a small school setting like this, we're not one of the big programs. I saw back during COVID, Alcoa done a program, and you look at their program, it's like a college, everything to do. And now you get the opportunity to see a small school program and winning program. We don't have a lot of coaches and don't have a lot of kids, but hopefully people understand what it's like to go out there and work hard and still have a successful season and put a good product out on the field.
Unless there's anything else you'd like to add, I think that's all we got.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Once again, thank you all. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching this year's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Shawn Jones Show. We look forward to seeing y'all next year here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone.